think it affected me. Honestly, I felt like I got good shots. They just didn't go down, and obviously a tough time for that to happen. Coach said in the locker room, like, we were down 3 the first quarter, down 5 second quarter, lost by 3 in the third. Like, we were right there, and I felt like we just played a crappy game. Like, the flow of the game was really bad. I don't know if that was the reffing. That was probably partly us because we struggled to get stops at times, but also, like, the clock getting messed up. Like, it was just one thing after the next. But, yeah, overall, like, it didn't bother me. Obviously, it didn't feel too good when it happened, but it is what it is.
So we have talked about just how difficult of an opponent the Sun are. Clark made just 2 of her 13 three-point attempts in Game 1, which comes out to just over 15%. That's the second worst three-point shooting percentage in WNBA postseason history out of the 75 games where a player took at least 10 three-pointers here. But this is what happens when you're a lower seed, and this is a physical game. What did you see, Monica, in Clark's debut and what the Sun posed here?
Look, you got to understand that the Connecticut Sun have been a top 3, if not the #1 defensive team in the WNBA consistently 4 out of the last 5 seasons. Now, mind you, this was also the game that Caitlin Clark opened the season with. Dejanay Carrington is in the running for Defensive Player of the Year as a guard position, and she didn't even start with the primary assignment. It was DeWanna Bonner with that tremendous length. Stephanie White and those guys cooked up a scheme that was designed to cut the fever off at their head, and their head is Caitlin Clark. Now, Caitlin has a track record of when she has low-scoring games, which we haven't seen many of, she bounces back with plus 25-point performances.
Right. She's a little bit of a Rubik's Cube player there, trying to sort of figure it out, David.
Yeah, out of all the teams in WNBA, the Connecticut Sun are the most uniquely designed to defend Caitlin Clark. They can throw length at her with Bonner, who really threw her off her game. I don't think people expected that defensive matchup. She was 0 for 4 to start the game with Bonner, and then she started to press a little bit, which allows Dejanay to start to guard other players. And she had Kelsey Mitchell also in a straitjacket. They were combined 4 for 23 from 3. That Connecticut Sun team is going to pressure you and tire you out and wear you out on offense. And they made the shots difficult for Caitlin Clark. So when she got open shots, she was still missing, and they made those passes really difficult to complete. 8 assists is not too shabby, but she had, she was not able to orchestrate the offense the way that she usually does because of the way the Sun were really frustrating her.
Really quick, y'all, the other thing that is key to what the Fever want to do, they play with tremendous pace. The pick and roll action between Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston is also a foundational piece of their offense. It may not always be hitting AB on the roll. Sometimes it's spraying out. But Brianna Jones is a terrific defender within paint. And so that pick and roll didn't look as smooth as they are accustomed to. So there are a number of matchups, to David's point, not just Caitlin Clark. There's a number of matchups that the Connecticut Sun can put on them important players.
And for now,
that's true right there. And I like what my man said right here. The Connecticut Sun, when you think about it, we've been saying this. Who are some of the top defensive teams in the league? The Connecticut Sun, the Seattle Storm, and you could I'd leave like those 2 teams. Really, the Connecticut Sun, that's a great defensive team. And not only is it a great defensive team, they have a great coaching staff. A coaching staff who clearly, you want to know the biggest difference? Their coach had them prepared. They had a game plan for the #1 option, which is Caitlin Clark. Their game plan was this: we're going to stop your best player. You guys go ahead and beat us with what you got. Just kind of like how they do with Dallas, like Luka. We're going to stop Luka, and we'll let Kyrie and everybody else go off. Go crazy. But we're going to have a game plan for you, Caitlin Clark. We're going to blitz. We're going to double team. We're going to trap when we see if the roll doesn't come up, we're going to trap. And this is not a small team. The Connecticut Sun, that's one of the bigger teams in the league. They got length, they got size, they got physicality. They're not backing down to shit. They got feistiness, they got Mabry. This is a well-seasoned team who was going to show you that they could play tough. Alyssa Thomas, she's going to play tough. These girls can play tough. Now, the little shady stuff that they're doing or whatever, I saw Alyssa Thomas. There's some things you just got to watch closely. Tapping AB in the arm a couple times in the shoulder. I don't know if she's trying to hurt her shoulder or whatever the case is, tired it out. But this team is going to do things, be physical, hold on to jerseys, hold your arm, try to wrap you up, try to get you frustrated. The Indiana Fever have to come out and play fast. They have to get out in transition and play fast. They cannot let this defense get set, because when this defense is set, you can see what they're doing. They're disrupting the pick and roll, and they're trapping. Just like what we're supposed to be doing on defense, having a guy slide up and disrupt all that, that's what they're doing to us. Now, Caitlin Clark, her shooting, no problem. I get it. Caitlin Clark, I expect to come out and ball out on Wednesday. As she stated, Caitlin Clark usually has a track record of having a bad night. Oh, she's going to come out and drop 25 plus on you. She's going to watch that film. So I expect Caitlin Clark, as I'm speaking, probably watching film, understanding what is going on. How are they trapping me? Where's my teammates at? Who's not sliding over so I can let them know to slide over? How is it that their man is on me? You got to be more of an offensive threat, or whatever the case is, be more aggressive so your man can stop double teaming me. There's got to be some type of communication with the team as well. And that's going to start with coaching. Get your players ready, Chrissy Sides. I'm not blaming this on one person. This was a team loss. Yes, there was an incident with no foul calls and things like that. The Indiana Fever barely shot any free throws. But, hey, we're not here to make excuses. We already know Indiana Fever have had this target on their back since the beginning of the season, since they got Caitlin Clark. So we already know what to expect out of these refs. It's not going to be a fair game. This is why the Indiana Fever have to come out and dominate. They have to come out and set the tone early. Get the mood changed, everything on their end. And one thing I'd like to see from the Indiana Fever, be aggressive going downhill. If we could be aggressive going downhill as well and start getting to the foul line and creating contact and drawing some fouls, we're going to have to force them to call a timeout and get another player in the game. We're going to have to rotate some of the, the starters out of the game. We have to be aggressive. This is why it's so crucial that play with Carrington, that should have been a call, somewhat of a flagrant too, if anything. It's so purpose. It looked like so. It's a shame, man. It really is. But if they're gonna call these calls on us, these Lexi Hall calls, these random little baby calls, you gotta call that. You gotta make the right calls. Be fair. Be fair. I'm not asking you to give Indiana all the calls and put them on the line to give them all the free throws in the world, but be fair. Seriously. And I hope somebody sent that video to the league commission and everybody, commissioner, because they need to take a look and they need to do something about it. So, I think personally, they had a game plan. There's nothing wrong with it. They had a game plan. They stopped it. They executed, and they shut off Caitlin Clark. And they also poked her in the eye, and she had some problem. She probably had a problem seeing. Well, how would you feel if you get poked right in the eye with fingers right under your eye and it's instantly swollen the whole game? You got 38 minutes to play left. Come on now. So, yep, it's your boy CEO Khan. I appreciate you guys, man. Welcome to the channel. I'll have plenty more content probably today. I already have, I think, like 8 videos in the queue. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Drop a comment down below. Welcome to Game Day Network, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one, man. I'm out.